Hi guys, this week I want to show you how to run a search for your PICO terms in PubMed. So really the first step would be to go to the APU library and you go to resources, databases, and this screen will come up. So we want to go to PubMed, look at the database PubMed, and we scroll down and we see PubMed there. You click on that. So now you are in the APU PubMed. So anything that APU has a subscription to, you should be able to get a full text of that article. So now what you'll do is you'll click on Advanced and you can type in your terms here. So I will use an example of a literature review that I did where I looked at the effect of hyperglycemia on the outcomes of bone marrow transplant patients. So I typed in those two terms, hyperglycemia and hematopoietic cell transplant, and hit search, and I came up with 109. So that is too many. So let me go to maybe the last 10 years. So this is a filter that I'm putting on here. And I got 74 and just want it for humans. Never click on the full text or the free full text because you wouldn't want to eliminate a study that just because we don't have it available at APU. You can always ask the librarian to get a article for you. So now I have 51, so that's a little bit more manageable. So I can go down here, I can see the search details here. So I will copy all of those. And I'm going to paste those on a document so I have that information. So if I would like to get this number down a little bit less, but it might happen that these 51 articles, I'll have to look at the titles of them and the abstracts and see if I can eliminate them. But I could also go up to the filters and say, hey, I just want to look at clinical trials. And then this would let me know that there are 9 clinical trials on the subject. And I could say, okay, I just want to look at review studies and clinical trials, and I'll say 19 is a pretty good number. So I will take that as my inclusion criteria for doing this search. So if I forget what I did, I'll go to these search details and just copy those. And then I can use this information to diagram how I got to this. So here's your discussion post for this week, and it has instructions about how to search PubMed. I would recommend that you don't just listen to my video, but look at this one as well. It really goes through some great information about how to use PubMed and do a literature review search using a PICO question. So within this discussion, there's a template. So you click on the template and fill this in. So here it comes. It's a Word document. And I open it up. And you can see here a Prisma diagram allows you to show people how you did your literature review search. So the first step is identification, then there's the screening of the articles, then there's looking at the eligibility and the total amount included. So, and this comes from the preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta-analyses. These are instructions how, if a researcher is doing a review, how they should do them. So this was an article that was included in your readings. But really what you need is for the discussion is this little document here. So when I did my search, I did records identified through database searching. So I would go in there, and remember, I think we said I had 19, right? So I'd go into the PubMed and come up here. So I had 19. So I'll pull up that Word document. I'll put in 19 here. Additional records identified through other sources. Well, I'm not going to go into that, so I'm going to put 0 there, but it might happen that when you're reading these articles here, you go into the reference section and you might find another article that's relevant to your search, and so you could add it right here if you found any additional ones. So we're only using one database for this discussion, PubMed, so we wouldn't really have to remove duplicates, but say you were using CINAHL and PubMed, those databases might each come up with the same article, so you'd want to remove any duplicates. So records after duplicates removed will remain 19, and records screened, we're going to screen 19 of these records. So that really means that I am going to go through the abstract of those 19 articles and see if just by looking at the title and the abstract, if I can exclude any of those articles. So one thing that I just saw that I could do is on the format here is a summary. So it's showing you the 19 articles as a summary, but you could also get the abstract. So you can click on this and it will give you the abstract. If you like having your looking at Word documents instead, you could click on that and it'll give you something that you could cut and paste into a Word document. So it has all of these articles and the abstract here. So I can go right through these and I can say, hey, is this relevant to my PICO question? So this one, hyperglycemia is a possible risk factor for mold infections. So my PICO question was, does hyperglycemia in the acute inpatient phase of hematopoietic cell transplantation, does hyperglycemia affect patient outcomes? So this is talking about mold infection. So I would say yes, I'd keep that one. Then I go to this one here, National Institute of Health, hematopoietic cell transplant, late effects. So if I'm just looking at the acute inpatient phase, then I would eliminate that one. I'll go down here and chemotherapy with methotrexate, results of, this looks like I would keep that. So on and so on, and just go through and read about these. How do I manage hyperglycemia post-transplant diabetes after allogeneic? So yeah, I would keep that one. So what I would do is I'd go through all of those, say keep or don't keep. So let's just say I didn't like 7 of those. So number of records excluded, 7. So then I'm going to have 19 minus 7, I'm going to have 12 left. When I have to get the full text of these 12, review those. After reading the full text, maybe I say, yeah, another 3 of those did not meet the inclusion criteria, the years that I searched, the major terms, keywords that I searched. So then I would say, how many is left? So I'll have 9 left. How many of these are qualitative and how many are quantitative? So I'm going to say that probably 0 of the qualitative because my question is pretty quantitative. And so then I'm going to say I have 9 quantitative analyses left, not meta-analyses. So quantitative and 4 review articles. Okay, so that's how I would complete a PRISMA diagram for this week's discussion post. For the second part of the discussion post, I asked you to write out narrative how you actually did this. So you're really saying how you did your methods of your review of the literature. So you can say the purpose of the literature review was to, and then insert your PICO question here. So in patients undergoing bone marrow transplant, does hyperglycemia compared to normal blood glucoses affect patient outcomes? So I'm going to say the databases I searched were PubMed, and if there were any others, I'd put those there, like CINAHL, the years, or maybe I'll do the keywords, and this is where I'd go to that thing that I cut and paste from PubMed, the search terms. So I'm gonna take that, put it over here, Control V. So there's the keyword. So I had hyperglycemia and hematopoietic stem cell transplant. Okay, so those were all, I could put this in just like this and leave it in there. And then any researchers wanting to duplicate this review could use this. So those are the keywords that I used. Okay. And then I would say, I searched for clinical trials and review studies in the years 2009 through 2019. And the only other thing I would say that was just in humans. So, okay, I got all that in there. So I'm right here. These are the methods of how I did the review of the literature. Anything else that you use as filters, you can write in there. So you're just letting people know how you came up with these articles. And then you can say, refer to the Prisma diagram below to see the results of my search. Okay. So then I would just do a little print screen of this and cut it and paste it into my discussion post. And that's that. So I will actually post this as a discussion post. I hope it helps. Let me know if there's any questions.